I thought I'd never see the day that I finished this book series. Like, it took me more than 6 months. 6 months to read 16 books. Actually, this is the second time that I read the books, but first time that I finished the series. It was 2014. I was 13 or 14 years old, depending on the time of the year, but season 4 of Pretty Little Liars had just finished, and we were on a fucking cliffhanger of whether Ezra was alive or not, and we just saw Allison arise from the dead. I wish that Ezra actually died, but it's okay. It's not, but whatever. And a 13-year-old me, a 13-year-old Sophia, filled with depression, was desperate for answers. So she read the books because she was like, well, there's books. I'm going to figure out who A is. And, well, the show is based on the books. The books are finished, or so I thought. Or I actually don't know if by 2014 the books were finished, but I was like, I was hungry for answers. I wanted to know who A was. So I read the books only to drop them by book 4 because it was too many, too long, too repetitive, and I just wanted to read Hush Hush. Thinking about Hush Hush, I remember nothing about this series, but I've seen people like talking about it again, so I'm thinking of maybe rereading the books if that happens to just happen. Would you like a recap of the series? Because I think that would be interesting because I remember nothing. I remember Patch, and I think that's everything worth remembering. So yeah, I stopped reading the books because it was way too many. And I mean, the show was not even following the books anymore. So what was the point? I reached book 8, and well, we'll see that book 8 is all I needed. Hey guys, I'm editing the video and I want to apologize for the audio. The microphone is still new. It's my second video with the microphone and I'm still trying to work it out, so I'm sorry about that. And then also there were times where my microphone was turned off because in some clips I'm using my microphone and then in some other clips I'm using the microphone from my phone. So yeah, sorry, I'll get better. Just be patient with me. Most of the books follow the same formula, which is let me tell you, let me break it down before I recap every single one of them. It starts with a prologue with Allison setting the ambiance. And what I mean by this is she's like recapping the things that already happened in the previous books, where the girls are at and where, the lies and stuff, and her kind of being like, oh my god, you think nobody knows about that secret? Well, mocking them basically. And the first few chapters is about a certain event that will be fully explained within the following books. Let's put an actual example from the book without spoiling it. I'll spoil it in like 20-30 minutes, but something happens to Emily in one summer, and that is brought up in one of the many, many books. Something happens to Emily in one summer, and we only hear about it by like the end of that event, when the event it's finishing. You'll see. Wait until I reach that book, you'll see what I'm talking about. And then in that book we don't hear about how she got there in the first place and why and how. We don't see the why and the how until the next book and the other book. So it's not like they forget what happened and then they brought it in the next book, because they still talk about that thing in that book. But it's kind of frustrating because it's like, just explain it to me in this book. Why are you making me read the next book just so you explained it? Like, whatever. So we have a main suspect that turns out was just acting suspicious just because. That happened in every single book. In every single book, in the 16, well, not in the 16 books, but let's say in the 14 books, get a different A suspects. Like the girls, usually Spencer, but the girls are like, this person is A because I said so, because this person is acting fucking crazy and suspicious, and that person is acting suspicious for literally no reason. And then bam, that person obviously was not A, and they look like fucking fools. And that person turns out either dead, or injured, or in a mental hospital, or in jail. Each book ends with an epilogue where A is essentially mocking the liars. And in this video, I'm just going to recap each of the books. Like, it's not going to be a comparison with the show. If you're interested in a video like that, then let me know. But yeah, I'm just going to be recapping the books because if I had to read 16 books of the same plot, you're going to suffer with me. Actually, it wasn't 16 books. It was 18 books because I also read 2 of the novelas. So, in case you want to read the books, there's 2 ways, 2 orders in which you can read the books, which is either order of publication or chronological order. If you are not familiar with the books, you can be familiar with Pretty Little Liars, but you're not familiar with the things that happen in the books, then I would suggest you to read by order of publication, which is what I'm gonna be doing in this video. If you are familiar with the major spoiler, like who A is, if you know who A is in the books, the major A, then yeah, you can read it in order of in chronological order, which is what I did because I already knew. And it's actually, I like it better that way. But the thing, and it only changes one book actually, which is a novella that if you don't want to read, don't read it. But it explains a lot about Allison. I mean, do what you want, but I would still suggest you to read that book, whether it is in the beginning or when you finish the series, because it explains many things The story begins just like the TV show. We're introduced to a group of friends, Alison de Laurentiis, which is Queen Bee, Aria Montgomery, the I'm Not Like Other Girls, Emily Fields, a swimmer that is secretly in love with Alison, Hannah Merring, who desires to be popular like Ali, and Spencer Hastings, an overachiever who sometimes stands up against Alison. Alison goes missing during a sleepover at Spencer's barn in the summer before 8th grade. To set the scene, the girls loved Allison. She made them feel special, feel part of a group, and make them popular because they used to be losers. And I mean, everybody wanted to be friends with Allison or date Allison de Laurentiis, but they also secretly hated her. She bossed them around, she played with them like dolls, putting them exactly where she wants them, and tried them to use their secrets against them. She was very manipulative. You know, not a good girl. When Ali disappeared, the girls felt relief that their secrets were safe if Ali were dead. We then time jump to 3 years later. The girls are no longer friends, are not speaking to each other. Actually, Arya spent 3 years in Iceland. They're just strangers to each other. Arya just came back from Iceland with her family and she kisses a random guy at a bar that turns out to be her English teacher, Ezra Fitz. Yeah, he's in the book too. At first, he seems hesitant to continue seeing Arya, even though deep down he does. But Arya tries to convince him. Turns out her dad had an affair with one of his students, and that's the reason they went to Iceland. Allison knew about the affair and hunted Arya about it. Emily becomes friends with Maya, a new girl in town who moved to Allison's old house and starts developing feelings for her. Oh, and she's dating an asshole who bullies her about possibly being gay, and they break up. Thank God. Hannah becomes popular and skinny alongside her new bestie Mona, someone who she sometimes shoplifts with. And she's also dating Sean, and the relationship starts struggling when Arya wants to sleep with him, but he wants to wait. And he doesn't even think that she's the right person. So she crashes his car. We also learned that she's been struggling with an eating disorder for a long time, and Allison caught her once, and since then, she has been hunting her with that secret. And Spencer struggles with her rivalry with her sister Melissa, and things get even harder when Spencer starts having feelings for Ren, her sister's boyfriend, to the point of seeing him behind Melissa's back. The girls get threatened to reveal their secrets throughout the book. They're being hunted by an A person who seems to know all their secrets, including the Jenna thing, which leads them to believe it's Allison. But is revealed by the end of the book that the police found her body buried in the gazebo of her former house. The book ends with the girls at the funeral receiving a text saying,
"I'm still here, bitches. And I know everything."
A is pressuring every single one of the liars to reveal their secrets. Hannah is pressured to tell Naomi and Riley, her enemies, Alice's old friends, that Sean dumped her and she suffers from an eating disorder. A surprises with the news that Sean wants to be with Arya, who is in a secret relationship with her teacher, in case you forgot. A threatens Arya to get rid of Meredith, her father's lover, or to tell her mom the truth about the affair. A taunts Emily about her sexuality and feelings for Moya by threatening to expose a picture of the two of them kissing. And A also tells Melissa that Spencer was secretly dating Spencer, her ex-boyfriend. Emily gets close with Toby despite all the liars believing that he might be A. Arya meets Meredith at yoga and tries to convince her to break up with her dad, but she tells her they're in love and they're gonna have a baby. Actually, I don't know if I didn't include that. At some point, she has a baby, but I didn't include when she actually does get pregnant. Whatever. Not important, actually. After Hannah crashes Sean's car, she's forced to help at Sean's dad's burn clinic. She tries to get back together with Sean. She even tries to go to some of the B Club meetings. But Sean starts a relationship in art instead. He's like, I don't want you anymore. Stop annoying me. I like your best friend. Spencer's parents punish her for kissing Ren. They even cancel her cars after she apologized. Why are you punishing a teenager for dating an older dude? Like, the person to punish, the person to blame is the predator, it's the groomer, it's Ren, not the teenager, not the kid. An adult pursuing a teenager, but well, I guess they prefer to blame their kid, whom they always show indifference for, than the actual predator. Like, God. By the way, you're gonna get mad at the parents all along because they just continue to make the worst decisions. Like, they're worse than their kids. Like, it's, oh my God, it's worse than the show, dude. And the stress is causing Spencer's grade to fall, so she plagiarized Melissa's econ papers after a suggestion. At the Foxy, a charity party, Hannah sneaks out from her dad-daughter meeting that turns out to be a family gathering with her dad's new family. And Emily gets a tarot reading that forces her to face her sexuality and leaves the party with Toby upset. Spencer goes with Andrew, but she meets Ren there and makes her feel guilty for upsetting Andrew. Hannah is pissed when she sees Sean and Arya together. She actually blames Arya and punishes her, and she doesn't talk to Arya because that's betrayal. Spencer figures out that A is at the dance and believes it's Toby. Alongside Arya and Hannah, they try to find Toby. Emily drives with Toby to a field near her house and tells him she's gay. And after some comments that Toby made about Emily never being in the bottom of the joke and never being bullied and yada yada yada, it makes her think that he killed Alice, and so she runs home. He goes after her, but she tells him she knows what he did. He panics and he leaves. The next day, Spencer is dumped by Gran because he wants to get back with Melissa, but she doesn't want him and is planning on dumping him later. Arya's mom received a letter about the affair and accuses Arya of knowing and not telling her, and she doesn't want to see her. Like she doesn't say the word, but she basically kicks her out. It's announced that Toby unlived himself, and Jenna delivers a note that makes Spencer reveal the reason Allison blinded Jenna. Toby used to be a bad boy to his stepsister. He used to molest her. And he saw Allison light the firework, but she blackmailed him to take the blame, or else she would tell everyone. And Emily received a text saying, "It isn't over until A says it is." Gotta keep myself hydrated. It's 10 a.m. You can forgive me. At her parents' request, Emily? At her parents' request, Spencer started seeing a therapist to help her cope with Allison's. She's also nominated to the Golden Orchid, which is a prestigious essay contest, for the essay that she stole from Melissa. It's funny that she actually got into the contest when she stole Melissa's papers, but Melissa didn't get nominated, so Arya's dating Sean and she moves in with him when her mom basically kicks her out for knowing about her father's affair for so long and keeping her in the dark. However, she's also secretly meeting with Ezra, and Hannah blames her for stealing her boyfriend. It wasn't your boyfriend anymore, Hannah. Get over it. Here we go in Pretty Little Liars' parents being awful. Like, why are you blaming your daughter? Like, I can understand getting mad at your daughter because she knew, and y'all pretended to be a happy family when it was in fact not happy family because someone was being unfaithful. But the person that you should be mad at and the person that it's the dad, not Arya. Wilden reunites the girls to discuss some homemade videos that were leaked and also Allison's killer. Mona calls Hannah because she's late to dinner and gets angry when she hears the girls in the background. The girls reflect on whether to tell him about the Jenna thing, but A threatens them, so obviously they don't. Maya and Emily are secretly dating, but Maya wants to be able to do things in public, but Emily isn't comfortable yet and reminds her of Allison because Maya is kind of pushing her into doing that, even though she is aware that Emily's not comfortable. At the swimming race, Emily freaks out when she sees her photo booth kissing Maya up in the wall with a mess. Look what Emily has been practicing when she's not in the pool. When Emily gets home, her mom forces her to join Treetops, which is conversion therapy essentially, or she'll be sent to live with Aunt Lynn in Iowa. Mona replaced Hannah with Naomi and Riley and invited her from her party after Hannah's gift gone wrong. In one of her therapy sessions, Spencer gets hypnotized and relieves a fight that she had with Ali the night that she disappeared she had forgotten about. When she asks her parents about suffering temporary amnesia, they tell her it has happened before. It's just really freaking out because she, to a certain point, believes that maybe she did something to Allison without knowing, without being aware and not remember it. Arya seeks Ezra for an extended day for her homework and breaks down about her situation at home, and they kiss at school, in the classroom. Lucas, a guy from school, tries to make Hannah feel better. He surprises her with a hot air balloon trip where they open up about their issues, and he asks her to hang out the night of Mona's party since neither of them are invited. Actually, he is invited, but since she's not, he'd rather spend time with her to make her feel better. But ultimately, Hannah ditches him when she received her dress for the party, thinking Mona had forgiven her. The dress fitted her too tight, making her think that she had gained weight. But turns out that when she arrived at the party, Mona didn't send her any dress. Actually, she hadn't even forgiven her. And her dress rips because it was too tight, and leaving her butt exposed, and only Lucas helped her out. Like, Mona just stays there smiling at Hannah humiliating herself and realizes that A did everything. Emily meets Becca, her mentor from Treetops, and her ex Wendy at Emily's request. They go skating, and just when Emily is starting to get into the idea that she could change and that she could become heterosexual, she catches them kissing, and Becca tells her that maybe you can change who you are. Even though Ezra knows that Arya and him can't be together, he knows exactly why. Because he even says it. He knows why. He still invites her to his place, gives her alcohol, and tells her that he wants to be with her. She falls asleep in his bed, and they're woken up by police officers breaking into Ezra's apartment, arresting him. Turns out that Sean called the cops because A sent him a picture of Arya and Ezra kissing, and he kicks her out. Yes! Thank you, Sean. Thank you for your service. Maya and Emily are happy that now they can be together.
When all of a sudden,
Emily's mom arrives to burst their bubble because someone called her telling her that Emily was with Maya and she's about to call Aunt Ellen to send her away. Is Ellen or Ellen? I don't know how to say that. Lucas is comforting Hannah when she receives a text and she recognizes the number. She knows who A is. Arya is looking back to the home videos when she noticed something she didn't notice before. Allison and Ian are holding hands in secret, and she creates a theory where Spencer killed Hallie out of jealousy. Oh, yes, Arya believes she has like a strong theory that Spencer is or might be A and might have killed Allison. This just confirms her theory. Yeah. She has trust issues. I relate. Hannah calls everyone to meet her at Rosewood Elementary to tell them what she knows, but she's hit by a car before her friends could even arrive. And the book ends with a message: she knew too much. Before anything else, Ezra is free because they can punish him if she doesn't press charges, which obviously she doesn't, but he does get fired from school, so I guess we got something. When she tells Wilden about her Spencer is a killer theory, that he turns out immediately. Emily is sent to Iowa by her homophobic parents to live with her Amish relatives. Over there, she sneaks out with her cousins to a party where she meets Trista and is fascinated by her. The next morning, she's kicked out because her cousins accuse her of forcing them to go to the party, which isn't fucking true. She decides to return home when she sees her parents on TV telling her that they love her and they accept her for who she is. Oh, and when she gets home, her mom gives her a DVD of Finding Nemo because Ellen DeGeneres, who voices Dory, is gay. Dory is a fish, so a lesbian swimmer. That was funny. That was actually funny. When Hannah wakes up in the hospital, she doesn't remember anything that happened, and of course, she doesn't remember who A is. Mona and Hannah's friendship is back to normal, and Spencer and Mona plan a party to celebrate Hannah's recovery, and Spencer is surprised that she enjoys Mona's company, and Mona reveals she has been receiving texts from A. Lucas is worried about Hannah. He thinks the hit and run may not have been an accident and warns her about trusting Mona. She's conflicted about liking him since he isn't popular. That's a big thing with Hannah. If something might ruin her popularity and might make her go back to being a loser, she's gonna dump you. She's not gonna talk to you ever again. Believing Lucas was just jealous of her friendship with Mona and Mona filling up these thoughts with the fact that they used to date and Lucas just wants to get back at her and he apparently hates her for it. Lucas tells Hannah what actually happened at Mona's party, how Mona humiliated her, and Hannah remembers. At Hannah's party, Arya tells Jenna what happened the night that she was blinded and apologizes for not stopping Allison. But Jenna tells her that she and Allison planned it together to get rid of Toby. When Arya questions her about A, Jenna becomes scared and leaves, making Arya believe that she knows something about it. Emily and Maya are reunited, but once Trista comes to town, Emily and Maya's relationship is crumbled. Maya catches Emily and Trista dancing and she gets very angry and leaves, and Emily is sad when she sees Trista and Noel hooking up. Melissa confronts Spencer about seeing Ian behind her back, which Spencer denies. Mona and Spencer get another note from A and start suspecting that Melissa might have Allison because she was jealous of her relationship with Ian, and they tell the others, and Mona drives Spencer to the police station. Arya tells Emily and Hannah the truth about the Jenna thing, and when Emily tells her that don't believe everything that you hear, it causes Hannah's memory to return. She remembers who A is. Mona is A. Oh, and Emily found a wrap of gum that coincidentally is the same gum that Maya chews, so she, for a little while, believes that Maya might be A. Anyway, Spencer is hesitant about turning Melissa in, but Mona convinces her. Spencer receives a text from Emily telling her that Mona is A, and Mona realizes that they figure it out. Mona drives Spencer to the Florryman's quarry where she explains that she witnessed the Jenna thing and she found Allison's diaries when Maya moved in, which had the girls' secrets. She got a new phone and became A to avenge the girls for blinding Jenna. Spencer accuses her of Allison, but Mona says Ian did it because Allison blackmailed him with their relationship. Spencer secretly calls Wilden, who overhears the conversation and learns their location. Mona reveals that she originally planned to blame Spencer for Allison's murder but grew to like her, so she's framing Melissa instead. And she offers Spencer her life in return that she becomes A with her and puts the blame on anybody else. Anybody that they want, they can just put the frame on them. Which Spencer refuses, and Mona attacks her. They fight on the edge of the cliff, and Spencer accidentally pushes Mona off the cliff. Her. I just don't want to say the words because then I'm going to have to cut them out because YouTube is going to flag them. So Arya, Emily, and Hannah arrive with the police and finds Mona's body and an unconscious Spencer. Hannah is shocked. She's not processing the fact that her best friend is dead and ended up being her worst enemy all alone. Spencer wakes up and tells Wilden Ian killed Allison, and Hannah finds Mona's phone she used to be A. Sometime after that, the truth comes to light, which helps restore the liars' relationship with their family. Before Hannah turns Mona's phone in, she deletes all the messages to keep their secrets safe. Ian is arrested and the girls go to the court hearing where he pleads not guilty. While they leave, they realize that they can move on and forget about A, but Emily catches a glimpse of someone who looked like Allison. We're taken back to the time where Ali was still alive, the time capsule flag. In Rosewood A, every year the school cuts up pieces of the flag and the older students hide them around the town. Whoever finds a piece can decorate it as they like, and at the end, all the pieces are buried together in a time capsule behind the soccer fields. Ali is bragging about having one of these pieces, and Ian warns her about someone trying to steal it and wouldn't mind her if that's what it takes. Nowadays, the girls are seeing a grief cancer due to their parents' request, and she asks them to bury things that remind them of Alice so they can say goodbye and let her rest. After Hannah's mom is sent to Singapore for work, Kate, Isabel, and her dad move in. Her dad wants Hannah to be friends with Kate, but she refuses, and Kate becomes friends with Naomi and Riley, her enemies. The relationship between Arya and her mom is getting better. She's helping her mom to get ready for a date that is later revealed to be Xavier, an artist who flirts with Arya in an art gallery. Spencer is upset after the reading of her Nana's will where she's left $2 million. I will be upset too. To each one of her grandchildren, but Spencer wasn't included. Melissa tells her that she might be adopted since in the will it said natural born grandchildren, which makes perfect sense to Spencer since her parents always treated her in a different way than Melissa, like she was some dirt in their boots. Ian is on trial for Allison's death, to which he denies the accusation and claims that someone is framing him and hiding the truth, and the girls freaked out when he's put on temporary bail to take care of his sick mom. Emily starts questioning her sexuality when she develops a crush on Isaac, a guy from church, a Christian rock star. Get it? Because he's on a band and he's Christian. No? Okay. Due to being stressed, Spencer isn't very concentrated in school and Andrew mentors her. She opens up about the possibility of being adopted and he informs her of a website that matches adopted kids with their birth moms. Ian surprises Spencer in the woods where he tells her there's something that she doesn't know and the cops are ignoring. On the night of Allison's disappearance, he saw two blondes. Apparently there are way too many blonde people in Rosewood. Like Spencer and Melissa are blonde, as well as the entire De Laurentiis family. There's another dude who is that we will hear about that is also blonde. So like apparently everybody's blonde. Xavier kisses Arya and she runs away. It's actually funny or disturbed how they constantly talk about how gross Ian is for being too old and pursuing Allison when he was a senior, or like, yeah, I think he was a senior in school, which is still gross. I'm not saying it's not, but it's like they acknowledged that that is gross, but a teacher pursuing a student is not gross. But an older guy who's a resident or he's studying medicine, he's in university, so he's older, he's an adult pursuing a teenager. That's not gross. A random adult in an art gallery pursuing a kid and he's dating his mom, like that's not gross. But Ian, ew. Hannah is dating Lucas, but she doesn't want to be seen with him because it would affect her popularity. At the fundraiser, Emily comes out to Isaac thinking that he wouldn't want to be with her, but he actually accepts her, and Arya has been trying to abuse Xavier, and he follows her to a room that she went to because she wanted to be alone, and also she let him in thinking that he was going to apologize, and he tells her that she's giving him mixed signals. He accuses her of provoking him and claims she's as guilty as he is, and even accuses her of not telling her mom because she secretly likes it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The audacity. After Hannah eavesdrops on Kate and assumes she's planning to take her down, she plans to get Kate before she does. So she tells everyone Kate has herpes, and Lucas breaks up with her after that fiasco. Turns out that neither Kate had herpes nor she was planning anything. She was practicing lines for a play, and her dad punished Hannah by Kate escorting Hannah anywhere she wanted to go. Spencer is haunted by what Ian said to her earlier, and Ian sends her a text to meet in the woods. And the girls find Spencer, who points out to a dead Ian, and they receive a text. He had to go. This book starts once again on the day of Alice's flag was stolen. Back when she first talked to the girls and they noticed something off, but ignored it because the Alison De Laurentiis was talking to them. It's an honor, okay? The next day, Ali had dropped her old friends and she started a new friendship with them. Once the girls arrived with the cops to the scene where minutes ago Ian's dead body was laying, he was no longer there. Someone had moved him, or maybe he even faked it. Wilden doesn't believe them, even says the girls are making everything up, and throughout the book he's acting a bit weird. Turns out that Ian Thomas, who the girls believe to be Ali's killer, has actually been framed, and they start wondering if A is helping them solve the mystery or just threatening them. Emily is dating Isaac, but is forbidden by his mom to go to their house after they were caught having sex. When she tells him about the encounter with his mom, he assumes she's lying because his old girlfriend did the same thing and then said she made everything up. I mean, if two of your girlfriends are telling you something happened with your mom, maybe it's time you talk to your mom. And Jason and Arya hang out. He knew she used to have a crush on him and he kisses her, but things become sour when she gives him the invitation to the opening to the Hotel de Rutley, making him freak out. Then again, another gross man pursuing another minor. Like, what is going on? And you thought that the show was gross and the show was perpetuating gross relationships. The book is way worse. Spencer meets a woman named Olivia, who she believes is her birth mother, and tries to move to New York after Olivia talks to her about spending time with her and making Spencer feel loved. Olivia made Spencer feel loved in those 5 minutes of conversation more than what her family has made her feel in her, 16 years of being alive. But everything turns out to be a scam, and she loses her college money that she used to pay rent for an apartment. Arya gets some emails from Jason telling her to meet him at his place, and she gets attacked by a dog and seeks refuge in Jason's room. She's looking through his room where he comes in and asks her what she's doing there and kicks her out, and turns out that he never sent her emails to meet her. At the opening party for the Radley, that used to be a place for trouble kids, Emily finds a book that looks like a log where she finds Jason's name. The weekend after the first day of school was the last time his name was there, and she believes Jason used to be a patient there, and the girls reach the conclusion of Wilden and Jason being involved with Addison's murder. Isaac apologizes to Emily after his mom told him it was true, but she declines his apology, and Ian confirms their suspicions right before someone sets fire in the woods behind Spencer's house. When Arya is trying to get to Spencer's barn to show them Ali's flag from 6th grade, she finds someone caught in the woods and saves them. She brings them back to Spencer's barn, and the girls are in shock because it's Allison. It picks up where the last book ended. The girls are being attended by the EMTs, and however, Ali is gone. A very insistent Emily keeps telling everyone Ali is alive, but the girls believe it was a hallucination from the smoke, just like the doctor said. Spencer tells her parents everything that happened with Olivia, and they open up. Olivia is in fact her birth mom. Veronica couldn't get pregnant without endangering her health, so they seek a surrogate. We're not getting into the debate of surrogacy, but Olivia kept asking for more money and trying to leave for Canada with Spencer. Hannah's dad sent her to the Preserve, a mental health facility, and over there she meets her roommate Iris, who she becomes close to and constantly talks about her old roommate, Courtney. Emily is mad that nobody believes her and goes to Lancaster following Ace clues to gather more information. Over there in Lancaster, Emily finds out Wilden dated Lucy's sister, who died the day before Allison went missing. Noel and Arya bond over the death of his brother and Alice. He accompanies her to see a medium perform a seance. I don't know what the fuck that is, so don't even ask me to pronounce that correctly. Where Ali died, and where Arya asks her who killed Ali, and the medium tells her Ali killed Ali. Spencer receives some messages from A that makes her suspicious of her own mom. She learns that at some point her dad had an affair with Ali's mom, and she realizes that Ali and Jason could be her half-siblings, and leads her to believe her mom may have killed Ali because of it. Spencer confronts her parents, and turns out that her mom had no idea about the affair, and it is the first time that she's hearing about it, even though she used to have doubts and suspicions, but he always declined them. I mean, she even found a picture of pregnant Jessica in his office. Like, he wasn't exactly trying to hide it either. Anna goes crazy when Tara mentions Mona, when she never talked about her. And when she questions Tara, she tells her that she actually meant Allison, and she read it on People magazine. They did an article about the girls, the Pretty Little Liars, possibly killing Allison. Hannah finds the magazine in Iris' bag and reads it, and she sees a lot of details from her time in Preserve and thinks only Iris knew, and starts thinking that Iris is A and may have Allison. The girls get arrested for Allison and helping Ian escape. However, they're quickly released. Turns out that they found Allison's killer, Billy Ford, one of the workers that filled the gazebo the day after Ali went missing. Apparently, he's responsible for Ali's death, and also Jenna's, who they just found her body. The girls realized that A made each of the girls believe a different person was responsible. Even though the cops are saying Billy is the author of these crimes, the girls are not so sure since he's seen such an outsider. Imagine how I felt when in the show they announced that Alex Drake, a character that we literally met in the series finale, and Charlotte were A. Imagine how I felt. The news about Ali having a twin sister, Courtney, shocks the liars. Apparently, Courtney had spent all her life in different institutions due to health issues, and her family kept her existence a secret. She's released and goes home to Rosewood, where she attempts to take over her sister's life, where she left it, and tries to start over a friendship with Ali's old friends. The girls are a bit skeptical about Courtney, especially Arya. She just couldn't put the past behind her, and she doesn't trust her, nor does she want her back. Spencer goes to Courtney's house to talk to her, and when she enters the room, she finds it weird that it was full of Alice stuff, as if Courtney had no belongings of her own and bond over having manipulative, competitive sisters, and they now have each other. Because Courtney and also Ali denied that she went missing, like they were aware of the affair. Courtney reveals to the girls that she used to be in the preserve, and they realize Iris must have known her, and that explained why she had a picture of Ali in her room. It was actually Courtney. Courtney reveals later that she's actually Ali, the real Courtney, pretended to be her on the night of Alice's disappearance, and she was killed by Billy Ford. But when she tried to tell her family, they didn't believe her because Courtney used to always impersonate her, and Ali was sent back to the institution in Courtney's place. The first one to know about this information is Emily, when Ali surprisingly kisses her in her room and claimed that she wanted to do that again. Emily is delighted and promises to keep it a secret until Ali decides to tell the others. Ali, Emily, and Spencer go to a club, and Ali and Emily tell Spencer Ali's real identity. Spencer is mad at first for not telling them years ago, and Ali apologizes and reminds Spencer that they're technically half sisters, and Spencer forgives her. Hannah is next in line to learn about Ali's real identity. Hannah invites Courtney, Kate, Naomi, and Riley to a fashion show in New York with tickets her mom had sent her. She only invited them to impress them because Hannah is desperate to be part of the popular kids after she had broken up with Mike because he earned an embarrassing name, Skids. And of course, she couldn't be seen with him because it would affect her popularity. However, when Hannah hands the tickets to the man at the front door, he refuses them the entry, claiming that the tickets are fake, and the girls call her out, claiming that she will never be popular again. Hannah learns that her mom never sent her the tickets and believes it was Billy, the man that killed Ali, Jenna, and Ian. Courtney tries to make her feel better and reveals her real identity, making Hannah feel amazing because Ali could finally see her makeover and that she was no longer an overweight loser. Her words, not mine. And they both start planning how to take down Naomi, Riley, and Kate. Arya is the last one to know, obviously. Arya sees Melissa running down the neighborhood and acting weird and decides to chase her. She loses track of her in the woods and finds Courtney sitting on the edge of a wishing well, and she mentions drawing it on the time capsule flag, revealing her identity. She apologizes for teasing her about her family dysfunctions and wants them to be friends again. She wonders if Ali just wants her to open up to just mess with her again. Before she leaves, she finds an envelope with 2 blurry Polaroids, both of the 5 of them at their end of 7th grade sleepover. But in one of them, because of the camera angle, you could see the reflection of a blonde girl outside the barn, and Spencer sees the picture and realizes it's Melissa, and decides to go to Ali's family's house in the Poconos after the school dance. On their way there, Spencer gets a call from her mom saying that Melissa went missing, and Spencer starts to believe that Melissa actually Courtney. and might be after them, but as soon as they arrive, it's revealed that Ali is the killer. They discover that the girl they were friends with years ago was actually Courtney, and the real Ali was trapped in the institution. She had killed Courtney for ruining her life and had attempted to kill the girls in the forest fire, have them arrested, and now is going to kill them by trapping them inside the house while it burns. They stumble onto Ian's body hidden in a closet next to a drug Melissa, who Ali had kidnapped and was planning to kill. They're able to escape, but Ali's trapped inside, and it's assumed that she died in the fire, but her body was never found. Hannah's mom comes back to Rosewood after she learns that Hannah's dad has sent her to a mental institution, and she kicks everybody out of the house. Hannah might get back together, and Meredith give birth to Lola. Arya and Noel get back together after she realizes that Ali kissed Noel and not the other way around, and her mom breaks up with Xavier after she finds out his inappropriate behaviors towards Arya. Melissa and Spencer grow closer after almost dying, and Emily buries everything she can find that reminds her of Ali at Courtney's grave, hoping that she can finally have closure. I'm in book 9, I'm already fucking tired. Okay, so this book starts when the girls in Jamaica for spring break, and Emily sees a girl who resembles Ali. She even believes that it's Ali, and throughout the book we get more details about the events that occurred in their vacation. But essentially, they push a girl who they believe was Ali and was going by the name of Tabitha off a building. The story jumps to 10 months later. Emily's mom was angry. Emily had walked off from the swimming team last summer to be in Philadelphia without explanation. An exchange student from Finland is staying at Noel's house, and turns out who they thought was a nerd boy named Claudius is actually a beautiful blonde Claudia who tries to steal Noel from Arya, making her feel insecure about the situation, to which Noel doesn't really help by defending Claudia at all costs, who's playing an act of being friendly and innocent and acting stupid. During a ski trip with Noel's family, on the ski lift, Claudia tells Arya that she's going to fuck her boyfriend, and Arya ends up accidentally pushing her off as self-defense, causing Arya and Noel's relationship to be even more shaky. Emily meets Chloe, a new girl who moved into the Kavanagh's old house, and they become friends. Emily has lost hope in getting a swim scholarship, her only way to get into college. Emily reveals to Chloe what she was up to last summer. She had a baby and was hiding in her sister's dorm in Philly, and that's why she's desperate to get a scholarship. Chloe's dad offers her to help and hits on her. Chloe walks in her dad kissing Emily, and she accuses Emily of trying to break her family. Yeah, because it's Emily's fault. Okay, yeah, I got it. Meanwhile, the girls start receiving texts from A, and they start to believe that Ali somehow may have survived the fall from the building. They believe that Tabitha is Ali due to all of their individual interaction with the girl were things that only Ali and the girls knew. Hannah's dad is running for senator. A guy named Patrick, who was working at her dad's campaign, offers Hannah a modeling job. Mike warns her about it, but she ignores him, and Patrick takes some inappropriate pics of Hannah against her consent and threatens to release them and ruin her dad's chance of being senator, so she pays him $10,000, money that Hannah steals from her dad, and blames Jeremiah, a guy who was also working in his campaign. Spencer's mom is dating Nick, the father of Amelia and Zach, who Spencer develops some romantic interest in. She kisses him once only to find out that he's gay, and they drunkenly end up sleeping in the same bed. Nick enters the room the next day and starts yelling belief that they were doing something more than just sleeping, to which Spencer, to try and defend themselves, says that Zach is gay, and Nick sends Zach to military school, and their friendship ends after Zach, feeling betrayed, calls her a bitch on his way out. In the last few chapters, it revealed that a girl's dead body was found floating in the waters in Jamaica, and they identify her as Tabitha Clark from New Jersey, and the cops claim that it was a tragic accident, and the girls realize that they killed an innocent girl. Ugh. Last summer, while Spencer was taking some courses at Penn State, she took some speed pills called ECA to help her with her studies, but were administered by Phineas. When Spencer gets arrested by the police for drug possession, she calls Hannah to help her frame her roommate Kelsey so she doesn't face charges. At the school play, when she gets the role of Lady Macbeth, the stress and guilt causes her to have hallucinations where Spencer is haunted by Kelsey and Tabitha, and she becomes paranoid and believes Kelsey is taking revenge. But also because Kelsey seems to know about Jamaica and she was in the same hotel after all. Emily is haunted by confusion, the incomprehension of loving and fearing Ali at the same time, hoping to see her around but also frightened that she freed the girl that repeatedly tried to kill her and her friends. Emily meets Kelsey at a party and they grow close, to which Spencer disapproves, and after she gets upset by Spencer constantly making remarks about her love for Ali, she tells Kelsey Spencer framed her. Kelsey overdoses and attempts to throw herself at the same place where Mona fell, but Emily saves her and she's sent to the preserve. The girls realize that Tabitha was also a patient there at the same age of Allison and Courtney. Hannah starts helping her dad with the social media for his campaign. She meets Liam, the son of her dad's opponent, and falls for him. However, they break up when she learns that he has seen other girls and gets back with Mike. And by the way, Kate is dating now Sean. Arya seeks comfort in Ezra after Noel breaks up with her because they don't have things in common and she assumes it has something to do with Claudia. Why Ezra again? She reads his first draft for the book he's writing, and she realizes it's their love story, except the characters make it work. However, she doesn't really like the way her character is portrayed. Like, she's portrayed as a clingier, way more clingier version that she is. And she tells Arya to go to New York with him. Things between Arya and Ezra get weird after Arya starts to open her eyes on how pathetic he is. He thinks that it's not weird that he used to be her teacher, and thinking that she was embarrassed of him because she didn't want her mom to see them together after he was her teacher without any explanation, and she doesn't want to go public with him, at least not yet. Like, he even tells her to find her when she grows up. Like, dude, why did you even fucking get involved in with a teenager in the first place? Like, you're getting mad that she's acting immature when she's just a fucking teenager. Like, find someone your own age and stop grooming teenagers, okay? She gets back with Noel when she discovered Ezra and Claudia hooking up after a minor argument. And when I tell you a minor argument, imagine if they actually had a big fight. Like, what he was gonna do? Get someone pregnant? Like, the girls try to overcome A's threat by coming clean with their secrets, but A becomes more violent, shoving Emily down a hill and sending Spencer a picture of Tabitha with a head injury, leading to believe that A was the one who disposed Tabitha's body, and claim that they will never figure out A's real identity. The book begins on the day after Emily gives birth to a baby girl. By this time, the girls already knew about the pregnancy and were parked outside of a welcoming house. Emily leaves her baby on the steps and the girls question her, and she opens up several angry voicemails left by Gail, a rich woman who was supposed to adopt Emily's baby, and Gail had offered her $50,000 for the child, and in fear of being an unfit mom, Emily decided to give her baby to the family she had originally picked and left Gail's money in her postmail. After her friends help her leave the hospital without Gail noticing, she ignores the calls and they quickly leave the neighborhood. Gail is the number one A suspect in this book. Yes, a woman in her fucking 50s is hunting teenagers. Yep, you heard that right. She's acting suspicious, as if she knows something about the girls, just like Tabitha and Kelsey, and when everybody they thought was A in the past. Besides, she seems to be everywhere the girls are. Hannah continues to help her dad on his campaign. Surprisingly, Kate and her are getting along very well, and Kate confesses she's avoiding Naomi and Riley after they had a fight about Hannah. Mike has moved on and is dating now Colleen, who used to be a geeky, nerdy loser freshman who wanted to be friends with Mona and Hannah. In desperation to get Mike back, Hannah goes far and beyond, flirts with him in front of Colleen to the point of insulting her, and Hannah follows Colleen in hopes of finding something juicy after A hinted that she was hiding something. Turns out she was getting professional pictures, and Hannah even picks up the pictures from the studio, pretending that Colleen asked her to do so, but the pictures were normal. However, she found her embarrassing secret, a converter for laxatives, which of course Hannah spread at school. Besides all of this mess, Hannah also has some awkward run-ins with Gail since she's financially supporting Tom's campaign, and Mike is impressed by Hannah's efforts to get him back, so he breaks up with Colleen. Arya and Noel are happily together, and Noel makes her promise to not keep any more secrets, which she agrees, but of course isn't going to keep. He's not even going to keep that fucking promise, but okay, whatever. On Meredith's request, Arya goes to the supermarket to buy some ingredients for dinner, where she encounters Mr. Khan dressed like a woman. A threatens Arya to break up with Noel or the pics of Mr. Khan will go public, which she does break up with him. When Arya goes to Noel's house to get her stuff, she realizes Mr. Khan has done that for years and Noel already knew. All this time, Noel had thought that she had broken up with him because of that, because she was embarrassed of that or whatever. But eventually they reconcile and apologize for the confusion. I didn't want to include this because it's so fucking boring and I literally skimmed through this part of the book, but it's just filler. It's boring. It's not important. Like, it's literally not important, but whatever. Okay, so let's go. Spencer spends most of the time in prison where she met several of the early admission students. She starts hanging out with Harper, who's chair of Ivy, an eating club. Don't ask me what the fuck an eating club is. I don't know. I don't care. Let's move on. And Spencer desperately wants to be part of it because I don't even know. She just wants to be part of an exclusive, prestigious, blah blah blah. Okay, Harper invites her to a party and Spencer gets uncomfortable when she catches Harper smoking pot, so she leaves and the cops arrive and take Harper into custody for weed possession, and she blames Spencer, but she gives her a second chance, inviting her to a potluck meal where she has to bring a dish. Spencer and myself interprets it as making a dish with pot. For some reason, I mean, potluck, you have to bring a dish. Well, of course you're gonna bring a happy meal, like, duh. Falls asleep while the brownies are baking, which gives A the chance to add drugs to the mix. Everyone enjoys the brownies, but Spencer ends up in the hospital. Then in Rosewood, Harper tells her she doesn't want Spencer near Princeton. Spencer blackmails her, and well, whatever, not important. Let's go back to the actual important things that happen in the book. The mystery about Emily's pregnancy is revealed. In summer, she becomes friends with Derek. He becomes her confidant, the only one who knows her true identity since she was introducing herself as Heather in fear of people making the connection of Emily, Rosewood, and telling her parents and whatever. He invites her to a mansion where he works, and Emily meets Gail, who offers to take in Emily's baby. She tells her they can't go to an adoption center because of an accident that happened to her daughter. She accepts the offer but soon becomes less confident in her decision as she gets harassed by a very insistent Gail to the point that she wants her Gail tell someone she was pregnant, so Emily decides to not give her her baby. Emily runs into Isaac a few times. He wants to start things over, but Emily's wondering if she should tell him about the baby. Emily is sent a text where her daughter might be in danger, and Arya and Hannah go with her to the location. A mansion, dark and unlocked, with a picture of Gail, her husband, and Tabitha. They hear a baby crying. They go to the patio, they hear a gunshot, and a figure falls to the ground. It's Gail. Isaac had followed Emily to the mansion, and Emily tells him the truth about their daughter, and he lives in disbelief. The girls are questioned by the cops, and they insist they didn't do it. Tabitha's dad arrives, and we learn that Gail was Tabitha's stepmom who didn't get along with Tabitha. He didn't know about the adoption. He had recently found out that Gail was pregnant. Emily finds the Becker's new address, the family who adopted her daughter, and visits them. She realizes her daughter Violet is in a safe place where she'll grow healthy and happy and safe. At Gil's funeral, Mr. Clark announces he an autopsy conducted on Tabitha and announces she was murdered and will find whoever killed her. The girls are scared, and even more when they receive a text from A claiming that they will be taken down soon. Hey, we interrupt this program to talk about the timelines of this series because it's fucking confusing. Just gonna do this quick. Let me remind you what timeline, what time frame, how many years, how many months we're talking about when you're trying to read this series, because I got confused and there was a point where I didn't even care what they were talking about. Okay, so let's go with series starts with the summer before 8th grade. Okay, the end of 7th grade summer sleepover. And then we jump 3 years later to from the first book to book 8 that they happen during fall and winter. So let's say September to March. And we're talking about the girls are at junior year, okay? From book 9 and book 10, there's a 10th month later after spring break. So we're talking about winter since Arya goes skiing with Noel. So we're talking about probably February, January, around that time frame. Then book 12 is during a spring break of senior year because now they're seniors, okay? Book 9, book 10, the girls are already seniors. In book 11, 12, and 13, we hear about the events from the summer before senior year, okay? And we're talking about, which book am I? Book 12 when I'm making this intermission. So we're talking about Emily's pregnancy during that summer. We're also talking about Arya being in Iceland in that summer and Spencer going to Penn State. And well, Hannah also had an event going on that summer that we're going to talk about in book 12, so stay tuned. They go to spring break in Jamaica. Things happen, and then we go to summer, and then we're back. We're getting things straight. And then book 13, 14, 15, and 16 happen during spring, summer, just when the girls are supposed to be graduating. So it's the end of senior year, okay? We got everything down in our brain. Let's go back. Pretty Little Liars. It starts in the summer before 8th grade. Then we jump 3 years later. The first book to book 8 happened during fall and winter of junior year, and then book 9 and 10 happened 10 months later after spring break. So we're talking about a winter of senior year, okay? Senior year, we're talking about senior year. Book 12 is about spring break of senior year, okay? So this happens right after book 9 and 10, and then book 11, 12, and 13 we hear about the events of summer before senior year, okay? And then book 13, 14, 15, and 16, they're about the girls ending their senior year. In the beginning of the book is mentioned that Hannah got into a car accident while driving home a drunk girl, Madison. They moved Madison's unconscious body to the driver's seat and fled the scene before anyone sees them. For a spring break, the girls are going on a school cruise, and Emily told her parents about her baby, and both of them are in shock and avoiding talking to Emily. Spencer wants to start dating Reefer. Did I mention before? He was the one who gave Spencer pot for that party in Penn State. Princeton, yeah. But apparently Naomi likes him too. During a cruise activity, Arya becomes friends with Graham? I don't know. They bumped over feeling out of place, and he tells her that he knew Tabitha. Well, actually, he's her ex-boyfriend. At a party, Hannah learns that Naomi is Madison's cousin. This leads Hannah to believe she knows about the accident and wants revenge as Hay. Meanwhile, Emily finds a random girl in her room, and Emily lets her stay in her room. Arya is scared that Tabitha, so she spends the majority of the book setting him up with a girl. Hannah suspects that Naomi is A, but is confused at the fact that Naomi is being so nice to her, and Hannah gets uncomfortable when Madison is brought up, and Hannah is worried that she may have died. She's also relieved to learn that she didn't die, but she's hit hard when she hears that she was in a coma and had broken bones. Emily and Jordan spend a lot of time together. Emily confides her about her baby and her parents, and they kiss and start dating. Spencer and Riffin are dating, but Naomi tries to break them up. Spencer is convinced that she may be gay after she receives a text telling her to get away from Reefer. And the girls are also suspecting about Graham after Arya tells them about him being Tabitha's ex. Emily learns that Jordan is actually named Catherine, a girl who has stolen private jets, boats, cars for fun, for entertainment, for kicks and laughs. After a karate class, Hannah and Naomi mention Ali and they realize they meant different Alis, and Naomi admits that she knew about the switch because real Ali told her. The next day, the girls discuss the possibility of Naomi being A and Graham working with her. Spencer breaks up with Reefer, so Naomi will leave her alone, and Emily runs into Jordan, who apologizes and tells her her bestie made her do it and turn her in. So she plans to get off in Bermuda and asks Jamie to join her, who actually thinks about joining. Forgot to mention, but Noel gave Arya a necklace that he found, but when Graham noticed the necklace, he freaked out. Graham chases Arya trying to tell her something, and Arya locks herself in, believing that he knew she pushed Tabitha, and there's an explosion, and everybody rushed to the lifeboats. The girls decide to take one on their own so they can hide the necklace in the ocean, because the necklace, it used to belong to Tabitha. That's why Graham freaked out. Naomi spots them going in the wrong direction. When the lights return to the boat, they realize it's gone, and after panicking, a rescue boat comes and they learn that Naomi is the one who sent the boat to them. So they conclude that she is in A and it was Graham all along and he is in a coma. When Emily comes home, she's thrilled to hear her mom saying that they will be a real family again, and she opens a postcard from Jordan saying that she's safe and they will meet again soon. The girls want to confess pushing Tabitha, but in the news it's announced that she was murdered by a trauma to the head, not a fall, and they get a message saying that A killed her and the liars are next. In the prologue, it says that Arya, Noel, Hannah, and Mike spend their summer vacations in Iceland. Arya kissed a boy named Olaf and helped him steal the Serenade, a famous Van Gogh painting, from a house. Hannah helped Arya escape, and Olaf mysteriously escapes the police with the painting. Turns out their trip was a disaster since the beginning. Noel was complaining about everything, which pissed Arya off. So when she met Olaf, who seemed to have the same art interests as her, she was delighted. Reefer dumps Spencer to attend an internship in Colombia, and she's devastated since he doesn't want to do long distance. Mike convinced Hannah to run for prom queen, but she gets a text message from A telling her to not do so, or they'll tell Agent Fuji their secrets. The girls receive messages from Agent Fuji, who requests to meet with them as she's in charge with the Tabitha case, but they all constantly ignore her out of fear of her finding out what they did that night, even though they didn't kill her. But anyway, at Spencer's house before meeting Fuji's, they decide to get rid of their cell phones and use burner phones so A can't reach out to them. They believe Alice is still alive and is still A, and make the connection that she's had a partner the whole time. It took them 13 books to realize that Ali probably had help, because she couldn't have done anything without help, because she's just a girl who has been burned and probably a little bit weak. How could she have dragged Ian's body and Melissa's body to the house? And not only that, but many other things. And with what money? I mean, the De Laurentiis family have money, but obviously she doesn't have access to it. They make a list of suspects that include Wilden, Jason, and Noel. They each have a task to discover who A is. Arya has to question Noel against her will. Hannah is volunteering at the burn clinic, and Emily is going to the preserve to talk to Iris, and Spencer is trying to find Ali. Spencer finds a website dedicated to the theory of Allison being alive, and she starts to contact the person, Chase, who runs the blog. She meets him, his brother pretends to be him, and she falls for him. He explained he was stalked by his roommate and almost killed. At the burn clinic, Hannah befriends a patient, Kyla, and gets somewhat close. Emily questions Iris, who says she didn't know much as she let on, but she reveals that a guy was secretly visiting Ali. Iris' secret is eating her up, and she eventually tells Noel, who gets angry and leaves. Iris is staying at Emily's house in exchange of telling her what she wants to know about Ali. And Iris confirmed that Ali did have a special guy, but she never knew his name. And Emily invites her to prom after Iris gets sad over her crush trip that never really cared about her. Spencer freaks out after Chase mentions something about Jamaica that she never told him about, and now she thinks he's working with Ali. However, he tells her that he knows about Jamaica due to her Facebook being public. Hannah leaves prom after she receives a call of Graham waking up, and she tries to persuade him to tell her who was after Arya, and he tries to say something that starts with N. When something happens and Kyla directs Hannah to the wrong direction, and when she gets to Graham, he is dead, she thinks he was trying to say Noel. Arya confronts Noel about his feelings for Allison, and he claims that he did love her and didn't want to believe she was crazy, which infuriates Arya, reminding him that she killed Courtney and several times tried to kill them. She tries to run away as the girls were telling her that he was Ali's secret boyfriend, and he pins her down trying to explain, but Spencer gets in the way and he leaves. The next day, it's revealed that Kyla has actually been dead for days, which confuses Hannah because she had just spoken to her the day before and believed that it was Ali in disguise and she killed Kyla because Kyla had a lot of burns. I mean, it's a burn clinic, so she had a lot of burns, obviously, and she had her face filled with bandages, so you couldn't really see her face. So it was easy for Ali to pretend that she was Kyla because she also had burns and she just covered her face and that's it. The liars go to the shed with the police, although they think it's a trap, and they find Noel's bruised up body, not knowing if he's alive or not. And they get a text from A telling them A is always one step ahead and that they hadn't discovered anything. And A was also aware of the list that they had made. So yeah, back to square one. In the prologue, we're taken back to the fire in Pocono's house from Alice's perspective. Her accomplice locks the door when she is hypnotizing the girls, and Allison sneaks out of the room and places the letter under the door. She hears the 5 footsteps trying to escape, and Emily running up to her demanding why she did it. A loud broom knocks Ali to the door, and Emily leaves the door open so Ali can get out. The house explodes, sending her flying to the woods, and her accomplice promises that they will make them pay. Back to the present day, the girls are visiting Noel at the hospital, who is in a critical condition. The police question the girls about the note that got them checking the shed, and they also ask if it were a 2-person job because no one alone could have done that to Noel. Noel tells Arya he remembers being hit on the head and hearing a male voice. He remembers 2 people speaking, and Arya starts accusing him of still being blindingly in love with Ali after he declines one of the voices being her. She demands to tell her everything since he visited Ali at the preserve. He tells her he went there to see a therapist after his brother unlived himself and saw Allison. She approached him and told him about the switch, and he felt sorry for her and started visiting her regularly. He also reveals he met Allison the weekend Courtney went missing, and she seemed out of the ordinary. He also met Tabitha and Iris and explained that Allison never told him she had a boyfriend. Mike is suspicious about everything, and he even tells Hannah he guesses that A is back and hunting them down, and she first denies but eventually admits it, only hiding it for his own protection. Emily is tweeting her girlfriend Jordan, who is concerned about everything that's going on and wants to tell her where she went but can't. And Emily drives to the preserve to see Iris. However, the person at the front desk tells her that Iris went missing and wonders if Ali did something to her. Arya goes to an interview for an art apprenticeship in Amsterdam where the lady is about to recommend her, but the police arrive, claiming that she's wanted for an international incident. Police arrive at the Spencer's house, wanting to arrest her for drug possession. The girls are reunited with Fuji, and Spencer tells her everything about A in return for immunity and their charges being dropped and clean from their record. Fuji promises them security for them and their families and start an investigation on A, but eventually are arrested again. Fuji claiming they made everything up. They track their texts back to their own phones and a fake video where it shows 4 girls killing Tabitha. Their lawyer advises them to a plea bargain, but they refuse immediately, and the trial will be in Jamaica in just a few weeks. The girls decide to find Ali and end their torture. They talk about how they're losing everything, and Emily's mom gets a heart attack, and she's forbidden to see her mom by her own family. And Hannah's dad disowned her. Jordan, well, Catherine. People here have way too many names. Like, it's just way too confused. She gets caught due to her Twitter activity, and Emily receives a voicemail of Alice giggles. Oh, yeah, I didn't mention this, but the girls are haunted by Alice giggles, seeing Allison literally every fucking where, and Vanilla soap bar. A few weeks ago, I went to the supermarket because I needed to buy a new shower gel, and I'm on a hunt of trying every single scent so I can find my own scent, my favorite one, the one that I'm gonna use for the rest of my life. And I have like 5 scents more to try. Vanilla. I bought vanilla, which I already tried, and I like it, but I'm not a vanilla type of girl. And you know why I bought vanilla? Because of Pretty Little Liars, because of Allison, because the girls always talk about the fucking vanilla soap bar and that they can sense and they always smell vanilla every fucking where, and they assume that Allison is there. And I was like, you know what? I want to smell a fucking Allison as well. Spencer comes up with a plan, and Noel tells them that Ali and him had a secret code to meet, and a blonde shows up, and the girls scare her thinking that it was Ali, but it was actually just a random girl. Emily attempts to jump off a bridge, but the girls save her. Melissa and Wilden help the girls discover the location of the voicemail that Emily received. The girls find the house and are greeted by Nick, who reveals to be Allison's accomplice. He's also known as Trip, the guy that Iris had a crush on. Phineas, the guy who gave Pod to Spencer. Olaf, the guy that Arya met in Iceland and stole the painting, which was a fake painting, by the way. Jackson, which I didn't mention him before, but he was the bartender of the night where Hannah had the car accident with Madison. And Derek, which is the guy who gave emotional support to Emily and also introduced her to Gail. The girls try to escape, but Allison appears and they lead them downstairs to a room full of cyanide, and the girls start to feel dizzy. But Emily managed to knock Nick out, and Ali tries to attack her, but there's a loud noise. The girls are at the hospital, and Fuji explains that Nick is arrested and thinks he was avenging Ali's death, and they had no evidence of Ali in the house. The books end when Ali runs into her new secret spot that she didn't tell Nick about, and she tells us that she sent the real video of Nick killing Tabitha to make sure they don't go looking for her. So yeah, Nick pretended to be 4 different people in each of the girls' life. That was a crazy twist for me because I didn't even saw that coming. Actually, I think that was my favorite book of the series, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to check that one out. Ooh, I should rate the books. I should rank them. We'll see. The story starts from Alice's perspective. A week after the Poconos fire, Alice watching carefully the reports, so when she strikes again, there's no surprises. And they see on the news that the girls are going to Jamaica, so Nick is going to get fake passports and Tabitha will impersonate Ali. We learned that Ali was playing her own cards. She had a hidden plan that Nick knew nothing about. She planted him in key roles for each of one of the liars, and he wrote the letter that Ali left in the house where she admits to be the author of the previous crimes, you know, killing Courtney and Jenna and Ian and everything. She secretly films Nick killing Tabitha and makes everything to look like he was working on his own. Nick is on trial for killing Tabitha, that he in fact worked alone, and Ali died in the fire, and there's an Ali fan account called the Ali Cats. Hannah gets an offer to play Naomi on the new movie Burn It Down, a true story of the girls' lives dealing with Ali's schemes, and she's excited to work alongside Haley, who's playing her, but she's soon disappointed when she sees Haley butchering her character. Spencer created a website for bullying victims, a safe place for them where they can share their experience and their stories and feelings. And she's received a lot of support, especially from Greg, who praises her as inspirational. But she also receives constant harassment from a guy called Dominic, a person who just blatantly hates her. And Emily wonders if her family will drop her again and disown her in case something else happens. And she gets excited when she receives a letter from Jordan where she forgives her and feels sorry for what she's going through. And Emily decides to put her in jail. Emily's parents, if I had to rank the parents, Emily's parents would be like number one worst parents in the Pretty Little Liars universe. And it's funny because Emily's mom in the show, Pam, she has a glow up. Like at first she's very questionable because she doesn't support her daughter, but then quickly she realizes that that doesn't matter who, that she has to love her daughter no matter what, and that it doesn't matter if her daughter is gay or straight, like it's her daughter and she has to love her. So she has a glow up in the show, and I think, and I will dare to say that she's one of the best parents in the show. But oh my god, in the books, anytime, because they want to pretend that they are this perfect family because they live in this perfect town, so they have to have like a type of appearance and show off that they're good and well, they're perfect, they're the perfect family, and on top of that they're Christian, so everything has to be perfect. So whenever Emily steps a little bit out of that perfect line, oh my god, they literally hate her and disown her. Like they kick her out how many times, they apologize time and time again, but they just come back to do that again. Like, oh my god. Arya's mom announced to her that a wealthy art collector is interested in purchasing her portrait of Ali, and Arya fears that Ali has something to do with it. Emily is swimming at school when Ali tries to drown her, demanding Emily to tell her that she loves her. And Spencer calls Fuji and forces Emily to tell her what happened. Fuji doesn't believe it's Ali, and the cops are testing Ali's hoodie that she wore for DNA when she attacked Emily at the girls' request. The girls go to Turkey Hill in Ashland in hopes of finding Ali after they find a receipt inside the hoodie, but there's no track of Ali on the hoodie nor on the town. And Spencer gets an offer to be part of an anti-bullying film, and Greg goes to her panel for support, and Dominic interrupts, making fun of the whole thing. Greg opens up to Spencer about being emotionally abused by his dad's new wife, and she kisses him. Hannah goes partying with Haley and the cast, and they get drunk, and Jared, who plays Mike, kisses her. After the director keeps giving Haley corrections and her just ignoring and mocking, she quits. After being encouraged, Hannah asks the director to play herself, and he gives her a shot, and Haley blames her for backstabbing. An art blogger, Harrison, wants to do a piece on Arya and her work, and she gets several deals to promote her artwork. Arya is hurt to see Noel moving on with somebody else. Emily sees Jordan in prison, and they're happy to see her. Jordan tells her lawyer found some loopholes in her case, and she could be free in a few months, and they could start over together. However, when Emily calls Jordan's lawyer, he announces Jordan was murdered and another prisoner, Robin Cook, was missing. And Emily is sure that Ali has something to do with it. Like she was behind everything. The girls think Ali could be staying in one of Nick's parents' properties, and they go to the house in Ashland that has a pool house where Ali could be hiding. Against her friend's request, Emily goes inside in hopes of finding a clue, but nothing is there, so they set up cameras to catch Ali, and the girls are worried about Emily since she's not acting like herself. One day, she even goes there and destroys everything, screaming that she will kill Ali and she'll pay for it. The art blogger, Harrison, kisses Arya. It's so fucking gross. Arya is supposed to be 18, so I guess it's illegal, but it's so gross because he even tells her that she's so mature, she's not a high school kid. Like, it's still so gross. It's still gross and weird. The police contact Emily and Jordan's mother, and she tells them Ali did it and tells them her theory that Ali hired Robin to kill Jordan, but they don't believe her, obviously, and Robin is also dead. So that even confirms more Emily's theory. DMC posted a picture of Jared and Hannah kissing, and Mike is upset, and later Haley apologizes to Hannah and realizes she was awful during set and called Mike to explain everything, and Mike and Hannah reconcile. At the Rosewood Rally's charity, Noel kisses Arya. The New York Post is making a story claiming Arya pretended to be the assistant of the wealthy person who bought her Alice portrait, and the name of the account of the painting was paid from was Maxime Pretwill, Alice's ally. So, yes, Alice was behind everything after all. Greg insists on knowing the new advances that the girls have on Ali. Spencer tells him, including the video surveillance on the house. Spencer did not want to tell him, but a slip up. And Spencer freezes when Greg tells her that Ali is coming after them and thanks her about the cameras because he wasn't sure if there were any. And he comes clean. He created Dominic. He's an Ali cat. He loves Ali and has been communicating with Ali. Emily realizes one of the camera footage have been on loop and the girls go to the house. The floor was covered in blood and they think that Ali killed somebody there and they sense someone is there pouring bleach as if someone is trying to clean up. So the girls leave. After the New York Post, Arya thought it was her downfall as an artist, but the contrary happened. It increased her sales, and Noel apologized for putting distance between them, and they get back together. Spencer is offered a book deal, and she doesn't feel right getting all the profit and asks if the people who contribute can also be co-authors, and Greg turns out dead and she believes that it was his blood in the house. The cops arrive to Emily's house and the girls are also there, and they found a tooth and ask them where the rest of the body is. They have witnesses claiming that they saw the girls in Ashland and they found their surveillance equipment and their awful cleaning job. They think Fuji thinks that they are behind everything, and when the girls tries to tell them that no, we went to the house but we didn't do anything there, we just happened to be there, they tell her that they know that Emily trashed the house a few days prior and made a threat to kill Ali. And Fuji tells them that they found the diary where it described the torture that they put Ali through, and the blood was Allison's and that tooth was also Allison's, and they are arrested for Allison's murder. So, final vote. The girls are waiting for their trial. They're the Pretty Little Mothers, and which is less than a week. Just so you know that the events happening in this book is literally in that time frame, a week. Everybody believes they're guilty and should rot in jail for killing Ali. Emily is going through a lot. She's severely depressed after the death of Jordan and all of Ali's torture. She's even sure that Ali is responsible for Jordan's death. And Spencer is preparing herself for prison, learning everything she can find to survive, and meets a woman, Angela, who creates fake identities for people to keep them out of prison and set up new lives for them. She might be her getaway car from jail if she pays her, and her mom has practically disowned her, and her relationship with Melissa is even closer now. Their lawyer is trying hard to avoid jail, but their future isn't very bright since they don't have any way to prove that Ali is in fact still alive. But they also don't have the proof that she's even dead because there's no body. There's blood and there's teeth, but there's no body. They visit Nick, who informs them that Ali could be at his grandma's house, so they go to find her, but without any luck. They decide to stay at the motel to enjoy some of their last times together before jail. Emily leaves the girls a note and goes to the sea. Spencer tries to save her but gets injured and Emily is presumed dead. At her funeral, her parents didn't want the girls to attend. They were essentially blaming them, calling them like evil outside forces and poisoning her. And Hannah and Spencer get into a huge argument. Hannah accuses Spencer of because she was the one who had the idea of staying in the motel, and then Spencer blames her for not waking up and saving Emily. And then Arya, who's trying to mediate, they also blame her. They're like that meme of Spider-Man pointing at each other. By the way, they also didn't find her body, so she could still be out there, and they find weird that the parents are rushing the funeral, like she might not even be dead. At the Spencer medical appointment, she reunites with Ren, who apologizes to her for the past, and she falls for him again. Mike proposes to Hannah, and they go crazy planning their wedding before she goes to jail, and Arya flees to Europe just before the cops put on her ankle tracker. Right now, the girls look even more guilty. I mean, one unlimbs himself, and the other one flees the continent. Like, not exactly innocent behavior, but then, like, yeah, I know that doesn't make you look good. But I mean, like, if you're about to put on rightfully so in prison, like, wouldn't you try to escape as well? I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I get it. It's very not innocent behavior. Spencer thinks to run away just like Arya, and she even steals some of her mom's jewels to pay for her getaway. Somehow, Noel finds Arya in Amsterdam and leaving her as a fugitive, thinking of going to Japan. Arya is quite paranoid, rightfully so. Like, if you're being chased by the Interpol, I mean, I would be paranoid too. I would be paranoid of leaving my fucking hotel room in case of anybody that is looking at me. It's possibly an undercover cop trying to catch me. You know what I mean? Like, but then I also understand Noel. Like, I mean, I don't understand him. Like, he should be understandable of our situation, but he kind of gets mad at her because he wants to, you know, he thinks of it as vacations and he wants to visit the city and walk around. But dude, you're not on vacation. You are fugitive. You are escaping the law. Like, and but I mean, she's wrong for still blaming Noel for liking Ali. Like, he used to like Ali. Yeah, he helped her at some point, but he he's no longer doing it. He apologized. He's trying to make it better to you. Like, at some point, you have to stop blaming him. They get caught because they are arguing in public and are brought home in time for Hannah's wedding. Even though their lawyer speaks about the uncertainty of Allison actually being dead and her knowledge on how to obey the law, the girls still get sentenced. The girls are reunited at Hannah's wedding after apologizing, and Spencer is about to run away, but she's stopped by Gwen and also the fear of missing out the birth of her niece and her family. And the girls are called to court for an urgent meeting where Emily walks in. Now we cut back to Emily POV before she tries to unleash herself. She's incapable of falling asleep, so she goes to Nick's grandma's house where she finds an envelope addressed to Day. So she makes a plan because she's like, that sounds familiar, but she can't exactly put two and two together. So she makes a plan, she fakes her death and travels to that address. And when she gets there, she meets Mrs. De Laurentiis. Emily realizes that she's been protecting Ali all alone and calls 911 and accuses Mrs. D of hiding Ali, which leads to Ali and her mom getting into an argument where Ali threatens Emily with a gun. But Emily managed to fight back and the police arrest Allison after her mom failed to get her a new fake ID. Back to present day, the girls reunite with Emily and see Allison arrested, and now they're finally free. 6 months later, Spencer is happy with Gran. Arya and all are okay and going to Japan. Hannah was giving her role back on Burn It Down. The girls go to the premiere for support. And Emily is still emotional but safe that Allison is in prison. The girls are happy and having fun now that their lives are free. So besides the main books, there's also a few novellas, which I only read 2 of them, and that's the only ones that I'm going to explain. So let's talk a little bit about it. You know that I mentioned earlier that there is one book, which is a novella, that I will suggest you to read, that if you read in order of publication, that book is one of the last ones that you have to read. But if you read them in chronological order, this would be the first book. And this one, the reason why I suggest you not to read it as the first book ever is because it's stole from Courtney's POV. So we don't know about Courtney until like book 8, so I wouldn't suggest to read this book before that, because then you're gonna get the spoiler that actually Allison and Courtney are twins. So yeah, so different from the series, this book is told from Courtney's POV to give us a better understanding of what she was going through, and we get more insight of the night that she died. Allison and Courtney used to be besties growing up. They were super close, but eventually Allison forced Courtney to impersonate her out of jealousy, and she would torment her, and that would result in Courtney acting out on it. The funny thing is that in the main series, obviously because we don't get Courtney's POV, but we think that that's exactly what happened. Like, she would impersonate Ali because she wanted Ali's life, but actually Ali was the one who was jealous of Courtney because Courtney was the fabulous one. She was the perfect one. She was the one who was popular and Ali wasn't. So Ali was so jealous that she would force her to do things to make it seem that Courtney was the crazy one and Ali could take over. One day, Courtney had enough and was caught by her parents trying to choke her sister. And Courtney gets diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. However, for some reason, Ali passed the test. And I think the reason they give that is because she's such a good actress that she tricked the test or whatever. So Courtney was sent to Radley. Sometime after that, the De Laurentiis moved to Rosewood and changed their last name from Dave De Laurentiis to just De Laurentiis to hide their past and Courtney. Courtney is at home and spies Ali arguing with Jason. Meanwhile, the girls, Arya, Spencer, Emily, and Hannah, are on the patio in hopes of stealing Ali's flag. Just so you know, just to make sure that you know what time frame we're talking about. Courtney takes her chance to pretend that she's Ali and talks to the girls while her parents force Allison into the car, driving her to the preserve. Courtney puts on Ali's ring and reads her diary to learn more about her life and her friends, and she realizes that she can't be friends with Naomi and Riley because you'll notice that there's something off, so she makes new friends with the liars. Courtney is in desperate need of attention from her new friends and feels betrayed when they keep secrets from her, such as telling Melissa that Ian kissed Spencer when Spencer didn't tell Courtney, or Courtney leading Arya to catch her dad having an affair because Arya didn't want her to talk about her family dysfunctions, or Hannah making a new friend and speaking at Courtney's back, so she makes Hannah watch her new friend kissing Sean, the guys that she had a crush on at the time. Or Courtney reading a passionate letter Emily wrote to her because Emily refused to tell her who her crush was. At the sleepover, Spencer and Courtney are arguing and she tries to get Spencer out so she doesn't see Allison. Ali starts threatening Courtney and they fight. Someone pushes Courtney into the hole for the gazebo and Courtney recognizes the voices. Allison and her accomplice, Nick, have blended her mother and covered her body with dirt. Courtney knew Nick because they actually dated, but he broke up with her when he saw her flirting with Ian. The next day, Allison tries to convince her parents she's the real Allison, but since she's not wearing her ring or the Jenna Thing bracelet, they assume she's Courtney. When the liars tell Ali's parents they don't know where she is, they send Courtney to the preserve because they think that she did something to her. I'm getting so tired, but we're about to finish. So I will describe this as a side story. You don't really have to read it, and it doesn't really... It's sort of like a transition between book 4 and 5. And you don't have to read it because they don't really mention anything in the main series about the events that happen in this book. But since I read it, I'm going to talk about it. Unlike the books where we get one of the liars' POV after another one, let's say we get an Arya chapter, then Hannah, then Spencer, then Emily, and then back to Arya, In this book is divided like in sections. We get like all Hannah's chapters and then we get all Arya's chapters and then Emily's, So kind of like that. So Hannah joins a boot camp after she believes she gained weight and she has a crush on the instructor Vines. And it starts a rivalry with Dinah, who also likes him. They become friends after competing for him and catching Kate kissing Santa Claus. They agree to stop competing for Vince and go out for drinks. When Hannah goes to the boot camp the next day, she catches Dinah and Vince making out, and turns out that Dinah only pretended to be her friend so she could let her guard down. And Kate confronts Hannah about the unflirting pictures of Hannah being at the boot camp, and she shows her the picture where she's kissing Santa, so they drop the subject. And then Emily's mom asks her to go undercover as Santa to catch the elves who are suspected of vandalizing the Christmas decorations around town and recover her mom's baby Jesus. The elves and Emily grew close and she goes with them along to their big prank, but Emily's moms track her phone and the elves get caught and they eventually forgive her after she bails them out. Arya is surprised that her boyfriend from Iceland, Halbjorn, I don't know how to say that, is in town. Apparently, he's running from the police, but his visa only lasts for a week. So naturally, Arya's like, let's get married. So they go to Atlantic City, which they do in fact get married. And she forces her mom's signature. The next day, Halbjorn released some panthers and she admits that she forced her mom's signature in court to get their marriage annulled. And Spencer and her family are in Florida at her nana's mansion, and Spencer develops some feelings for a tennis player, Colleen, and Melissa seemed to help her out, but Colleen likes Melissa instead, and Spencer decides to fight for Colleen, who dumps Melissa for her. But how they turn tables, he actually has a wife and a child, so they get revenge by putting some Viagra in his water bottle before his game. We have other novels that I did not read because I'm tired. But we get an Addison Pretty Little Diary. I actually have no idea what it is about. And we also have Pretty Little Love, Pretty Little Lost, which are both Emerson stories, which I don't understand. I honestly don't understand what is the praise on Emerson, because Allison never returned her feelings towards Emily. I don't know if Courtney maybe had feelings for Emily, but it didn't seem that she did. So why are we still pushing the Emerson love story when it was just a one-sided love story? I don't know, it's weird. And we also have The Liars, which is an Audible exclusive, which is set in like 15 years in the future. Yeah, I just recapped the 16 books of Pretty Little Liars plus 2 novellas. So I just recapped 18 books in just one fucking video, and I'm so fucking tired. I started these at 10 in the morning, and now it's 12. When I was reading like the Goodreads reviews, like a lot of people were arguing that it's too many books, too repetitive. Oh my god, I'm so tired. And the thing is, like, yeah, the books are very repetitive. I'm gonna agree with that. I think the story could have been condensed in like 5-8 books, you know? But the books are still entertaining. You get entertained by reading them. The first 8 chapters are kind of boring because they're setting the scene, but you do enjoy reading them, or at least that's what happened to me. I enjoyed most of them. Like, there was not one book that I was like, oh my god, it's so tiring. So yeah, would I advise you to read the books? I mean, if you have the time and you love Pretty Little Liars and you're seeking for like more material, then yeah, of course. But I mean, I would love to see a Pretty Little Liars series where they follow the books from beginning to end. Like, they do everything from the books, because the drama from the books are really interesting. So I would love to see that. So I'm gonna leave the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed, because I'm tired. Give me a like, subscribe to my channel to see more from me, and let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video and what other content you want to see from me. So bye.